Good afternoon, everyone. Lovely turnout today. Always good to talk to an entire full house. I think it was lovely hearing Mr. Das. I've always had the greatest respect for IAS officers, but I think his story is inspiring, right? How he made it from engineering college to the private sector to the bureaucracy, right? On that note, always great. I love coming to Calcutta. There are three things that I really love about this place. Besides the fact that you have awesome weather today, it kind of competes with Bangalore. We all can sit in our jackets without having to sweat. But there are three things which stand out where Kolkata is concerned. I think one and two, everyone knows, right? It's the culture, which is amazing, the food, which is superb. But I think the third one, which most of us tend to ignore and take more often for granted, is the passion, right? The purpose that you see in Kolkata. And for an outsider, I am so impressed every time. And driving this morning to the hotel, there are so many changes, and you can see a lot going on. It also reflects in the crowd that we have here. On that note, talking about passion and purpose, let me introduce two of my fellow panelists. Both very passionate Kolkatans and full of purpose. Arnab Chakravarti needs no sort of introduction. Everyone knows him. But what you don't know is his dual personality, right? One is he's a Bengal tiger, very, very, intent on getting his goals and his objectives done. The other part is he's a data tiger. Right, and his purpose is really about, he dreams of democratizing data and monetizing it, right? He's actually built the data practice for Saskin before he went on as a co-founder at Asmaka, and he's building that into an IP powerhouse, and you'll hear more from him as he shares his story. We have Dipankar Mukherjee as well, a global leader who's got close to 30 years experience. He's with one of the largest B2B e-commerce ventures in India, right? A well-kept secret, M Junction. Dipankar heads sales and marketing for M Junction, and it's interesting to note, I didn't know this. I thought M Junction was more connected with steel, but they do steel, they do coal, and they also do agriculture. Right, and he has some very interesting stories with his marketing and sales that to share with us. I think his purpose is, or M Junction's purpose is more on transparency, high governance standards, and he'll touch on that. And it's very interesting, and how this gets into our topic for today, which is reimagining B2B marketing in the age of AI and data intelligence. Right. If we move to the first slide. So this is not about slides. This is just to set the context, and then we get into a conversation. I think the world is moving fast, right? We are all aware. We're seeing so much of change in the last 2 years. We've seen AI and marketing spend, right? Double from, we've seen it grow phenomenally to 47 billion is what the global figures are. We're hearing that in 2028, this is going to go to 100 billion, and that's a huge amount of spend. There's a lot of focus there. I think it's very interesting because it's the crossroads between creativity, data, and automation, and how do you tie all these three together? The early adopters have seen a lot of benefit in faster decision-making, faster insights, right? And the content output has been close to 7 or 8x, in some cases 10x as well. I think, however, we also find that there's a challenge of underutilized data, and how do you monetize that, or how do you have better marketing qualified leads? And that's really what we're going to talk about. While AI is helping make content cheaper, faster, while it has. Okay, so let me take this example. How many of you log on to LinkedIn on a daily or a weekly basis, right? I think in the last 6 months or a year, we've seen so much of LinkedIn, so many people posting on LinkedIn, so creative, everyone feels like they're a journalist, right? And I think over time, we've all are all able to realize what is authentic, what someone has genuinely written versus what it's generated by one of the ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or whatever. This is the problem that marketeers face. And when I say problem, it's not about LinkedIn, but it's about authentic communication, right? Because you've got to build trust with your end customer. And how do you use AI for its value, but yet build a brand where people believe in you and you kind of differentiate yourself? So I think that is the crux of this whole discussion. What we're looking at in the next 22 or 23 minutes is basically, we've divided this conversation into 4 parts. We'll spend a few minutes setting the big picture. We'll then move to a very important part, which is the alignment between the functions and the marketing leaders, right? How do we make that a success? Then we go to the whole trust, creativity, and responsible AI part, which is super important. And then finally, the future. With that, I'll ask Arnab the first question. Arnab, from your vast experience, what is the biggest barrier holding back marketing teams from leveraging data analytics and AI and truly getting bang for the buck, right? Is it talent? Is it tools? Is it something else?
Good afternoon, everyone.
You have to hold the mic closer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I get into this, let me give you an introduction how I am here today. So India has heard of an accidental prime minister. Today you are seeing an accidental panelist. That's how is it. Rush, to take your question, it's a combination of all 3. The talent, the motivation, tools, all these are actually deterrent and failure of all the aspirational growth and the transformational stories. So when you see something that 95% of AI projects are failing, someone will quote MIT, someone will quote Forbes Technology Council, but it's an unplanned growth journey taken in silos. Stakeholders are not onboarded. There is a real messy, low glamour problem underlying to AI, which is the data layer that has not been taken care of. You have a heterogeneous tool ecosystem where each one of the stakeholders have been utilizing or adopting one or the other tools. The best thing is that where it's lacking, there is no common objective. There is only a board level direction, AI has to be adopted, but no one has no clue how it has to be done. It's a journey that's missing, probably.
So is this a first 90-day thing, or?
The challenge is in the 90th day. I'm sure most of us as a technology leader, sales leader, business leader in some of the hat, when we get into a customer conversation, when we are there to present the outcome of a project, which is based on AI, which is based on data, you will invariably find stakeholders talking of their opinions. When it is a point to take actionable decisions, it's a review. So that's the silo, that's the gap, which is a barrier for adoption. Now, if you look at, we are sitting on an era of disruption. It's an intelligent era of progress. Roles are shifting very fast. Probably CFOs would be the CEOs. CMOs, as the repository of the data, would be an ideal CDOs. Are we defining these roles? Are these being governed by the overall board directions or the board mandate? Unless it is there, it's a failure. And then you go back and say, there is no ROI.
Thank you. Are you also trying to motivate me from
So I'm motivating that you have a role to play again.
Thank you. Dipankar, would love to hear from you when you wear your marketing hat, right? As to how do marketing leaders evolve, with all the changes, and especially with data and AI in particular?
Thanks, Ross. And before I answer your question, good afternoon, Kolkata, everybody. Great to be here. I'm picking up from what Arnab just said. This is a crowd which, whatever I can see, is a quite mixed crowd. Senior leaders, entrepreneurs, and probably some students. Most of us have gone through our teens, and AI, you spoke about the 90-day syndrome, but the way I see it is that AI, where we are coming out of teens. So when you are in your teens and in college, most people start dating or seeing somebody. And if you are not, there is a sense that you are left out, you're not doing the right thing. Am I right in saying that? Quick show of hands. Thanks. So you said board mandates, board directs. So if you are not doing AI, you are kind of left out. Was this syndrome till maybe a year back? Everybody was speaking AI, LLM, Chat GPT, you name it, Claude. Every week, if you delved into it, there were newer and newer names. But my take is not many were practicing it, but we are out of that stage now. And now it is a scenario where customers know how to use it. So from where I see it, if I am the marketing head, we are dealing with people who know how to use AI. So unless we start speaking that lingo, we will lose track. So this is one part. So the other part of the answer would be, quick show of hands again, how many of you have seen a mafia movie called Gangs of Wasseypur? Yeah, lots of hands. So in Gangs of Wasseypur, it's for those who have not seen it, and I'll finish in 30 seconds. It's a saga of a mafia family which starts in early 1940s and ends just around 2000. And this is coal trading, coal pilferage, families controlling how coal is pilfered and sold in the black market. Towards the end of the movie, there is a dialogue, "Ab aisa nahi hota hai." When the families are strategizing ki kaisa karna hai, towards the end of the movie, in part 2, there is a dialogue that "Ab aisa nahi hota hai." Kyun nahi hota hai? Because ab ye internet ke madhyam se hota hai. That was 25 years back. That was M Junction who brought coal trading onto a digital platform. So that was the opportunity then, which companies took. There is a similar large opportunity now to make the quantum shift in digitization, where you shift your game up quite a bit by adopting newer and newer technology, and AI is just one of them.
Thank you. I told you guys about passion, right? We were doing an AI conversation and it went to college and mafia and all of that. But any quick pointers for what marketing leaders need to do different than what they did 5 years back to gear up?
See, marketing leaders will lose the plot because it's a competitive field. And there is enormous amount of data floating out there. Let's imagine we work for very large companies who have, I won't take names here, but try and imagine a paints company who are working with, so many of us in this room don't walk across to a dealer or a sub-dealer point and buy our paint or cement. We give that work to a contractor or to the local painter who goes and buys. So a paint company would typically have 10 to 15 lakh painters who are called influencers in the trade who go and buy. Now, all of those names today can be there with you on a click. And then you can start simulating, forecasting, when are they buying, if they buy a brand today, will they be loyal to the brand, are they coming to the same dealer point or not? AI keeps throwing, and if you know how to churn the data, then you start getting a lot of insights.
Superb, thanks. So moving from the big picture to the collaboration part, right? How do tech leaders or AI leaders and marketeers or any other function heads work together? I think and this is for both of you, a quick sort of synopsis. What does good look like from a collaboration standpoint, right? How does marketing and the AI and data teams work together, right? For quicker outcomes, better impacts, etc.
See, if you look at this, this is an ideal scenario. When CFO draws a revenue charter, which is appreciated by a CBO or acknowledged, and CDO translate those KRAs to a meaningful KPIs in a drawing board. So basically joining the dots among all the stakeholders, whether you are adopting a tool, whether you are adopting a framework, where you are bringing all the ecosystem leaders is an ideal situation. So Deepankar just talked about a paint industry example. I will give you a real example. Exactly 1.5 months back, I was in Taj Bengal in some conference, and I bounced on a CEO of Kolkata-based paint company, which is probably one among 5th in India. So gentleman told me, Arnab, we have a data warehouse. I want to run how I can reach out and monetize the huge consumer data, which includes the term as influencers, what Deepankar referred, and create omnichannel experience, hyper localizations. So Rosh, you look at the conversations, the jargons, these are becoming part of conversations. So he talked about monetizing the data pointers. He talked about influencers, that's your sentiment analytics. He talked about hyper localizations, reaching out to in a meaningful way. He talked about broad growth part, and that's the way of collaboration, I think. Deepankar, probably you would like to add?
Okay, so collaboration again, for those of you, this is a different world. I mean, you are talking data, and marketing is marketing is data or marketing is emotions? Marketing is communication. So in a way, marketing needs no data, if you ask me. I'll touch upon a quick industry example, which is a trendsetter. Many of you who are from the marketing side or have interest may have seen this. There's this ad of a person who is blind, who is begging in a street in Europe. And he has a signboard next to his begging bowl saying that, "Help me please, I can't see." And he sits there the whole day. Every half an hour or 15 minutes, there is a coin which he hears ting, it drops on the bowl. Suddenly somebody comes, takes that board, wipes it and writes something else on the board, and it keeps ringing, ting, 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 ting every minute. So this guy is surprised, what happened? And then the next day when this person again comes, he says, "What did you write?" And the board, the writing in the board had changed from "help, I'm blind, I can't see," to "it's a beautiful day, I can't see it." So where he is trying to say that you can see the day and I can't, and then people then immediately get emotionally attached and start putting their coins. So marketing is like that. I mean, it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of communication. Where data comes in is, marketers need to know how many people pass that street, how many people walk at what time. So it's a kind of a mix. I mean, it's a left and right brain mix. You need both to collaborate.
Superb. Thanks, guys. I think looking at the time, we'll need to kind of turn this into more of a fire round, right? Fire question round. So, Arnab, this is to you. How do you build AI models for success? How do you make sure that they get adopted, right?
With due respect to a couple of technology leaders sitting here, right from academia, right from someone who is defining AI standards. So I am apologizing, I'm talking on their behalf probably. The best thing, when I look it from a marketing and the sales perspective, Deepankar brought a very interesting point, emotions. You heard that it has to be, is it humans without AI or humans with AI? He talked about emotions. Now I am talking about intelligence. So how we join the dots between human, emotion and intelligence? How can you train the data which is more localized, which is more functional? Everyone knows about LLM, but can something what you have done with Gemini, something what you have done with AWS Rockbed, would it be contextual for what you are trying to do it for your organization? Can you train the data more contextually is what is the challenge, especially for the CMOs. I will give you another live example. in my personal avatar, I am working with trade and marketing function of India's largest FMCG brand. These gentlemen are married to a particular tech stack. But the challenge for them is that when they are trying to democratize these models, they are trying to democratize the marketing functions and trying to include the larger crowd in the organizations to get adopted, the models are not working. It's not working because it is not learning the way it should have been learned context to that particular industry and function.
Superb. Another quick one to close this section. Can you give us an example of where data-driven insights have actually helped a campaign, in terms of getting better outcomes?
Okay, so I will stay, because of paucity of time, I will stay with the example of painters and influencers. So when you're talking about 15 lakh influencers whom you want to reach, now the modern mode of reaching them is trying to make them take an action where they click something, and the call to action is click, and then they download an app. So that's the whole game of the marketeer, that you will have to reach the person and they download. Now, what time you message, what time you send out, and what channels you use is where we ourselves have used a lot of simulations as to should we do it on a Friday evening or a Saturday when the guy is free, or Monday. We have tested small packets and found out the optimum time to do the campaign. So in a way, had we done this 5-6 years back, it would have been an intuition, best practices. But today we are able to very quickly go to the market, something which is like an A/B test, put it out, know where, what kind of signals you are getting, and then launch. So marketers are increasingly taking these steps.
Awesome. So that takes us to the next section, right, on trust and responsible AI. And I'll come back to you, Dipankar, again. Marketers are used to intuition, right? They're used to gut feel. And now with this whole AI-driven, sort of data-driven focus, how do you build trust to make sure that marketers tend to depend, and what is the critical factor there?
See, Ross, to be honest, I don't have an answer, because this is a very fast evolving world. I mean, we are getting to a point where what is happening is we are in danger of something which is being called in marketing circles called creepiness. So the systems know what time I go to bed, what time I watch my OTT, which channels I am watching. You need to be mindful of this part. I mean, how do we balance? There is so much of insights you can get. There is so much of digital footprint which we all leave behind. So trust is something, yes, we need to, I mean, there are newer and newer practices which are coming, but yes, there is a point, there's a fine line where we'll have to draw, which we cannot cross. Otherwise, the brand kind of takes a hit.
Got it. I agree with you. We've seen that happen far too often. What about you, Arnab?
I will take from where Dipankar stopped. The public backlash, brand image erosion, what we have seen with one of India's most popular upcoming beer brand. Though it was not related to AI per se, but being cognizant to the fact that how this trust, biasness, specifically this AI black box theory is very important to be handled. Now, if many of us have a perception that something marketing as a function or horizontal is slightly a reduced risk compared to that threat that you have in BFSI or health per se, from a biasness, prediction, etc. That's not completely right. What we absolutely need is, again, going back to what Dipankar said, connecting the dots between emotion. That's what about the keyword in marketing? And how you define that boundary where the intelligence, or you unplug AI and you plug in HI, the human intelligence, or EI, as I have learned from some of my co-entrepreneurs here, is something is really to be watched.
No, makes a lot of sense because, you know, many of us would have noticed sometimes you search for something on your phone or on your laptop, and after that you start getting ads, right? For the next couple of days. So it's very unnerving to be in a situation like that, and you start detesting that brand. So this is for you, Dipankar. You know, they say marketing is an art and a science. How do you bring that balance in this context, right, with AI and, you know, impact?
See, telling a story, branding will always be the artwork of the marketeer. I mean, at least I don't see how an artificial intelligence can completely come in and decide something like a brand positioning. So what position the brand will take is left best to people who understand customers, who understand how the market is moving, competition is moving, gaps. So towards that, at least for the foreseeable time, human beings will keep doing it. I mean, I am of that belief. But yes, marketeers will continuously look at AI or more data. I mean, AI is a word, it's kind of a monolith being used. But what we are looking at is a huge amount of data is available now. How you use it to model is up to you. So how people are consuming, what are the trends, are they coming back to your website? It's a fascinating world, and things are changing very, very fast with data. So marketeers are the repository of data, and the analytics part will drive their decisions. So I think it's a mix of both. I mean, the storytelling, the emotion, the logic of the brand, the trust will keep being there. The art side of it, if you ask me, whereas the analytics, the way you churn your data models, your algorithms will continue to be data driven.
So basically what you're saying is trust comes from that human touch, right? It comes from authenticity.
And see, the other thing in this discussion on technology versus art or science we are missing out is that end of the day, it's the human person you are selling to. So unless we connect, it is very difficult. The other part in marketing, and since I represent the marketing world, is that end of the day, whatever you do, in a data-driven world, it's very difficult to do something which your competitor can't. I mean, your competitor has access to the same LLM models, the same kind of brains which are churning data, the same kind of machines, the same kind of GPUs. So essentially, the value creation, the X factor will always be the human touch.
Got it. Guys, we're out of time. We have 2 questions. Do we have time for 2 more questions? We'll do this bit of a rapid fire thing. So, Arnab, this is for you, right? Looking ahead at the next, I would say, couple of years, not even 3 to 5 years, 1 to 3 years, which AI capabilities are most reshaping marketing? Is it real-time decisioning, hyper-personalization, generative AI? And a follow-up to that is it too early? Which avatar of AI, whether it's Gen AI, agentic, digital agents, etc., would really exist, or something else coming up? Can you give us a view? And this is our 4th section, which is the futuristic view, right?
So to answer this, Rosh, I can give you with confidence as a sales guy. The same questions, the same debate is happening at Kochi today as we speak here in the Gartner conference probably. So when I was selling 10 years back, AWS Redshift or a Tableau combo, and was talking about self-service, real-time decisions making and all those things, it has not changed the scenarios. It's only the avatars or the forms that have changed. So whether it is going to be the agents or the agentic AI, whether it's going to be the Gen AI or some form of automation through prompt, bot, it's just a matter of time. And to be very honest, it's very hard to predict something, a technology trend beyond 2-3 quarters. the way it is transforming. But as Dipankar said, its relationship is between human to human, it's not bot. So as long as that interface is relationship, emotion, and if you plug in the human and the emotion and the quotient context, it will be real-time decision making that will be driver for the marketing function.
Thanks so much. That was useful. Dipankar, last one. You'll have to do this under 60 seconds. What would you, if there was one recommendation you could make for marketing leaders to future-proof themselves, right? With the whole AI era, what would that be? Would it be skill, mindset, tech stack?
I'll take
One.
one.
Yes.
So-
And you have 60 seconds.
So the SEO, the world of SEO is changing. So the way we searched on Google or any other search engine, marketeers at the back end used to optimize the keywords. That was the basis of marketing, the very basis of digital marketing as it evolved in the last 20, 25 years. But that is set to change with AI, because it is not the word which is important in the emerging world. It is the context with which the user has come in and searching. So this is a key shift, and we have to understand that.
Perfect, thanks. We'll move to the last slide. I think this has been a good discussion. Thanks, guys. The takeaways, the way I see it, and this is what one of the marketing gurus said, right? Use AI for scale, data for accuracy, and storytelling which gives identity, right? And then you'll probably have a nice, good package from AI and data with marketing. AI will only help you for decision making, but it's the human storytelling which will help build trust for your brand. So with that, thank you, Arnab. Thank you, Dipankar. It was a pleasure. Thanks to the audience for hearing us out.